Hi, Peter Charles here for Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie the white hackle. This is primarily a white fly, and I almost never use white flies. I have used occasionally a all white woolly bugger, but that's a rarity for me. So I can't really comment how effective white is. I do know that brown trout do love white flies, so this may be something I'll put in my fly box for my next trip to the Grand River to fish for some browns and see how they like it. Anyway, it's a very simple pattern, and so let's get tying and looking at the material. We're going to be using a size 8 traditional wet fly hook. Our thread is a white 8/0. Our rib is a black floss, and we're all going to be using one strand. The body's white floss, and we're using a white hackle, as the name suggests. So let's get tying. So we're going to use the speed method here. So we're tying in our 2 flosses on top. And then we'll just keep the white on top of the black, and we're just going to wrap back, getting the thread so it stacks up when touching turns. Now come back, again in touching turns. Now we'll just trim off that excess. So now you can see how that black floss was completely buried by the white thread, and it won't bleed through. So we won't see that color showing when the body of the fly gets wet. Okay, now to put on a white floss. As usual, pull the twist out of it, try and get it as straight as possible, and avoid the hook point. One nick on the hook point and this thing is ruined. Oops. Let's back up. Okay, now for the black floss. Now, you don't want this floss to spread. You saw how that white spread a little bit. That's not a bad thing when you're putting on the body, but when you're putting on a rib, you don't want that to happen. So I've put a little bit of wax on my fingers, and I'm using that to actually turn this black floss into a rope so it doesn't spread. Okay, now for the white hackle. I prepared the feather. I've taken off one side, and I'm just going to clip that front bit to create a tying in point. Now this is a blackhead, so I'm going to use marker to color my white. Oh, look at that. One of my problems is a lot of my capes like this are very, very old. Some of it's like 25 years old, and there is some brittleness in them, unfortunately. I'm going to go with another hackle plier that's even lighter than the one I was using. This happens to everybody, so I'm going to leave this in the video so you can see you're not the only one who breaks a quill every now and again. So because I've got some extra barbs in there, I may get a few trapped, but we'll deal with them afterwards. And of course, when you want it to break, it doesn't. Now, one little trick you can do if you want to push those barbs back so you can get a grip on them, and you just want to give a little bit of a turn in here just to create, give them the opportunity to lay down a little bit. There we go. I just use my half hitch tool just to push the barbs back just a little bit. And we would finish. Now for some head cement. There we go, the White Hackle. Fairly simple fly. As you can see, as long as you don't break the quill, you're in good shape. And I think it should be fairly effective as a white fly. I would think it would show up well, especially on a dull day. I think I would want to give this a try. So there you go, the White Hackle. Cheers.